This is how I know you're going to be wildly successful in 2026 and in the new timeline, the new Earth. So if you're watching this video right now, it means that you have been tapped into understanding the quantum field, or the algorithm thinks maybe you do want to understand it. And if you are wondering what's behind my back, it is my monster of a Kangal puppy. We're in Ireland right now. I have Duchess here. Say hi, Duchess. And then Arlo is on the ground over there. I'm gonna see how we can do this right now. It is the morning time here in Ireland. We haven't done our walk or anything yet, but I'm trying it again. Yesterday we tried it, but he's so full of energy in this new environment. I don't live in this house. Right now I'm getting ready to quantum leap into the new timeline, which has really been created for me from my dream Life Sleep Hypnosis. So if you want to join that, it's $29 still. It's linked in the description here. You listen to your own voice and use these frequencies that I put together for subconscious reprogramming to program your mind while you're sleeping and unravel the subconscious blocks. It's super, super powerful. Your dreams will probably be wild. You'll notice some massive changes. You can see some of the reviews on that link there. And so 2026, we've been talking about it a lot. 3i Atlas. Every single day there's more and more information about 3i Atlas coming by Earth. Sorry, I have to settle him. Look how big he is though. Someone just said in the video yesterday he's like a multi-dimensional beast. He really is. He's just so powerful and so wise already. He's still definitely a puppy with a lot of puppy stuff that we're working through, but I just feel so honored to have such a great guardian. Their livestock guardian, the Kangals. They have the strongest dog bite in the world, the same as a lion. They're very powerful. So 3i Atlas coming by Earth, giving these major upgrades. The timeline split, happened just a few months ago. Let's not be rude. And it's been beginning for a while, but we noticed with the major events happening that the collective started waking up. We're starting to see these things being pushed out of overall attempts to control. So service to self entities trying to enslave in different ways, which will cause, in a way, a revolution. And definitely I feel there is this spiritual warfare going on. And so this all plays into how money is going to be in the new world, right? Also ignore any stains I ever have because I'm typically doing farm life. And so everything I have has like holes and whatnot. Once I get to the new timeline, I think we'll go on a little shopping spree and get some new stuff. But this new Earth that we're going to be in, I was just up till like 1 a.m. last night doing so much research on just what finances could look like. And, we're looking at the world of crypto, we're looking at all these different things and how the dollar could collapse, how all these different things could happen. They're all theories. And I think that it's important to educate yourself. Like I was just looking at a few books that I should order. If you guys have any recommendations on this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. But just to really educate yourself. Education is power. Your knowledge is power. That gives you, oh my gosh, I think I need to go deep down this right now. Educating yourself with an open mind is what sets you free. Had I not dated someone who really like broke me out of my way of seeing things because of where I was raised and whatnot, I would not have understood my passion for my freedom and my sovereignty and in the way that I do. And so that really then led me, like once I broke out of my conditioning of like the emotional stuff that comes with like believing how the world should be, and like there's so much conditioning about it's just there's a lot of ego and like having beliefs and opinions. And when you really look at beliefs, all beliefs are illusions. If the only thing that is true is the I am that I am, then all beliefs are illusions. And then you can see everything as an attempt to try and do good. Typically, I think that most people and most groups are trying to do good for the world and they have good intentions, but then it gets mixed up with ego and like attachment to being right and to being better and to being more virtuous. And then I think that the service to self entities can definitely find their way in, especially when we're in moments like that where we are out of our truth and out of our sovereignty and more into that attachment state of trying to be worthy. And that's when these service to self entities can like implant their thoughts almost and start distorting the truth. And so knowledge is power, education is power. Looking at all possible outcomes from an open mind allows you to see clearly when things do happen. When you're in your sovereignty and in a non-attached place and you practice mindfulness, you practice nervous system regulation, you practice like really deconditioning your mind, and then when these things start happening and the world starts changing rapidly, you have like a very clear signal on what is true and what is not true. I hope that this is landing with some of you guys. Let me know if it is, because this is a pretty deep conversation. And so when I first arrived to Switzerland, when I was really first getting into being in Europe, I went to Switzerland for a while. I had family there. One of my aunts there, we were on a walk. We were climbing, she's like a mountaineering type lady. And so we were climbing a mountain, the biggest mountain I've ever climbed. And she was talking about how she, at first when she started doing it, you know, you're so used to relying on your phone, on the maps, on like outside sources to figure out where to go, what to do, and all this stuff. And she has gotten to a place in her mountaineering, I don't know if that's what she calls it, I've seen it a few times recently, mountaineering, but where she can do intuition. She can use her intuition to guide her through the mountains, to guide her away from danger, to feel into where home is. Like her intuition has come back. And so like we used to really be tapped into that. We would know when a storm's coming. Like, you know, one of my dad's dogs, she jumps in the bathtub whenever there's going to be a tornado coming soon or like a big storm, and like way before it even happens. And so animals know, right? We have that ability to know. We have that innate intuition within us for everything. Right now, whenever I see things online and there's like so much what is it called? What is it called? I want to say it's the law of polarity. But so yeah, there's a lot of polarity. And there's just so many, the human psyche is really interesting, especially in this online world, which we're all just learning to navigate right now. Like we weren't taught how to do this. We're just figuring it out. Social media, like the online world, all the comment sections. And humans are like, we're pack animals, like we're tribe animals. We want to be a part of the tribe in order to survive. And deep down within us primally, we want to be a part of the tribe. Otherwise, if we are excluded from the tribe way back when, we would die. We wouldn't have, you know, the team that we need to hunt and to protect and to all these things. So in us, we want to be a part of the tribe. So you look in these comment sections, and if one person, it's like it's PR too. I studied PR in college and I got a major in PR. So PR, it's like it's so easily influenced, and it starts with like at the very beginning, someone forming an opinion with a charge, and then it creates momentum. And so if a bunch of people latch onto one little thing, like, oh my gosh, she looked this way when she said that, or he did this when he did that, he's a liar from another dimension, like, I don't know, you know, that kind of thing. And then people jump on that and they just pile it, and then it can be so hard for the truth to be found in that, because imagine all this comment sections just going crazy over this one idea that was just formed by one person, and then someone tries to come in with like the truth, the person who's mountaineering and is like really tapped in, and they're like, you guys know, I see that they're just, you know, they're just hurting or they're just whatever, and they try and say that everyone would just jump on them and just say shut up, like a dog fight almost. And so I think that's kind of where the world has gone right now. And it's interesting that we're here right now and that this message has to come out. But I think that we saw it. We saw that a lot recently over the last few years. We saw that during the shutdown. It's been a very emotionally charged time on Earth with so much polarity, a lot of division. And right now, with how everything is headed, again, it comes back to sovereignty, it comes back to knowledge, it comes back to openness, it comes back to needing to be in your purity to really see clearly through the illusions, because I think that the light is getting so bright here on Earth, and so that the service to self entities that are so used to control, they are going to try and get stronger, and they are going to try and latch in more and try more, manipulation tactics on a mass scale. And so continuing to stay in your knowing, no matter what others are saying around you, allows you to be this version of you that, we started the message out with this being about not having to work to make the money that you desire, because when you're in your sovereignty, it's such a deep message. When you're in your sovereignty, there's no going back. Like you can try to like pretend to be in that job and to pretend to be that employee and in that matrix system and like, all these things, but really it's pretending. Once you get there to that mountaineering version of you, not actually climbing physical mountains, but you know what I mean. And when you get to that point, everything becomes so crystal clear. You find your voice, you find your reasons for being here, you find your passion. And so if you don't know what it is that you want to do, I think a lot of you guys do. If you don't know, or if you're not completely clear, or if you just want some more clarity on what you already know, getting so clear right now, getting so pure right now, getting so aligned right now, clearing out the conditioning, working on the subconscious blocks, working on those patterns that have been distorting your truth. Our brain is like a computer, right? And it's so malleable, which is great, which means we can reprogram it. So that's why I really do recommend sleep hypnosis right now. I think it's such a powerful tool, especially for where we're at in the world, especially with how everything is magnetized with the current upgrades and solar flares and everything, but also with what we're headed into. Being able to see clearly past everything allows you to see the opportunities. So with reticular activating system in your brain, you process 0.005% of the information that is thrown at you. So often we're not seeing the opportunities and the things that would really set us free into that timeline where we are making money doing what we love and we're making passive income or whatever. Our art is taking off, our content is taking off, our message is taking off, our services are taking off. So often we miss that because we're so caught up in the noise, in the chaos, in the conditioning. I think this is a great example because when I got here to Ireland and I was like thrown into the void, because I set so many intentions, I really trusted this. Like it's just strange how, nothing was allowing me to really exit this void quite yet. Like tried to buy a car, but all the car stuff is very complicated in Ireland. It's very like there's so many different things you have to go through. I'm a resident of Italy and not in Ireland, so I'd have to go through that and like all these different things. And so then I was like, okay, well, I'll just try and fix my broken down van. No mechanic all throughout Europe all throughout, well, Europe too, but Ireland could figure it out. And then I was like, okay, well, my brain is meant to see something that I wouldn't normally see if I was in the noise. If I was trying to, if I was on the farm in Italy and I was, dealing with all the wonderful chaos, but the chaos of there's hundreds of animals on this animal rescue that I've been living on in Italy. And it's such a magical, wonderful place. But with so many animals and also so many people and volunteers, there's always something happening that requires us to, horses are loose, go chase the horses up the mountain, or like in the middle of the night and like all these different things like that, Animals die, then you're dealing with the grief, and then there's interpersonal things on the farm with the people that live there. And so consistently there's a lot of noise. My dad has been saying this recently when I was kind of talking to him about what decisions I'm going to make next. And he says, you want to go where the noise is the quietest. so that you can, really focus on what it is that you want to be creating. I mean, that's actually very, very wise. I think he doesn't he doesn't like claim to be that kind of person, but he says some really wise things. One of my favorite things that he says is, if you want to play the piano, play the piano. Like, it's that simple. If you want to be a content creator, create the content. If you want to be a writer, write it. If you want to, be an artist, create the art and own it. Like, just do it, and it is you. You are that. When I had 5,000 subscribers, which at the time, and still, I think it's like 5,000 people. That's amazing. And when I had 5,000 subscribers and I was in Austria, I was at this, it was like a beer tent that Dom and I had come across just randomly in the countryside. And it was so fun. Like everyone was dressed up in their traditional clothing and we were the only tourists there. And everyone was so friendly. But someone had asked me, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a full-time YouTuber. And he looked at my YouTube. He's like, how do you make an income with only 5,000? And I was like, it just works out. Like, Abraham Hicks talks about when people try and doubt what they're seeing because they don't see the actual manifestations of what is in your vortex, just continuing to just reassure them to not meet them like, oh, well, like one day, like, no, not getting out of your energy and your momentum. And of course, like, within a month, I think that my channel grew to like 30,000 in a week. Like, it was like a very quick leap. And so we've gotten deep down this. And so I've been here in Ireland after setting the intention very clearly, saying, God, close the doors that are not meant for me, open the doors that are. And I felt like that's like one of the most powerful prayers that I've ever said. It's always like spot on. Very quickly does the door close. And so here in the void, while I was living in the hay barn in my van, in my broken down van and my tent, just kind of waiting for something to work, like putting in the effort, reaching out to mechanics, going to see cars, like doing what I have to do in order to like get momentum going. In that time is when Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis like shot into my mind like a lightning bolt. And I love seeing your guys' feedback on it. I love like one of your comments, you left 2 comments and it means the world to me. Someone had said, I don't think, I'll put it here, the reason for being in Ireland that this came through, but your reason for being on Earth. Like, that's how I feel about this method. And it's so interesting. It's so unique. And it's like everything that I've learned in my journey of healing from my chronic illness and learning about neuroplasticity and learning about the subconscious and about manifestation and about subconscious reprogramming and like brain rewiring and like all these things that form our reality. It all came together in this idea. And of course, I'm so excited to take it further into the next creation that will support you continuing to make these, I'm gonna call them something specific, but we'll get into that later. But this idea that has been life-changing for me in so many ways across all boards has been life-changing to me. And this came through when the noise cleared, when it was just me and my animals living in a hay barn in the middle of Ireland, like in the countryside of Ireland. And I don't think that's necessary. I think you can go to your own hay barn void in meditation. I think that you can be very intentional. I think that the universe guided me to this because I was in such intensity, and then it brought me here, and that was just how my reality best worked for me. And so, but I think that there is a timeline, especially if we're moving into the 5D, if we're moving into the new Earth, and that's what's happening right now. And this is the reason why we came to Earth based off Dolores Cannon's work. If that's happening right now, the 5D is your heart center. It is your love, your abundance. It is the innateness, the truth of who you are, the infiniteness that you are. And so the ideas that you have placed on your heart, they then, the pendulums and the conditioning of Earth, if Earth is shifting into that energy, it becomes more open, more easily, like more easy. sorry, it's like the best way I can say it, more easy to manifest and to create and to have abundance meet your ideas. And so I think so often a lot of us have, and I think there's divine purpose with it, but a lot of us have probably tried different ways of leaving the matrix and creating the businesses and, you know, trying to go down that path of making that thing work, but the conditioning might have been too strong at that time, or those ideas were too mixed with your mind's conditioning and not really from a heart place. And I say that because when I was really trying to, okay, let's see if I can do this. 10 years ago, my spiritual awakening happened. About 10 years ago, a little over. And at that point, I started watching YouTube videos, and that's like what pulled me out of like the darkest time of my life. And it brought me to eating really clean, at that time raw vegan. I had this spiritual awakening. I was really inspired by people vlogging about health and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, one day when I'm healthy again, because after the car accident, I became very chronically ill. I was like, one day when I'm healthy again, or like really feeling ready, which I probably was ready then, I want to make a YouTube video. I want to make YouTube videos. I want to help people. And I felt so deeply in my core that that was my path, my purpose, part of my purpose, what I needed to be doing in this life. And it was like a full body yes, and it never changed for 10 years. It was always, yes, I need to be on YouTube. Yes. And then I graduated college, got some jobs, and I was really in this 9 to 5, which taught me a lot, and I'm grateful I was in it. But I wanted to leave really badly. I wasn't making enough to even like really pay my bills at the time, or to pay my medical bills. And so I was trying so many different businesses. I was trying Amazon. I was an Amazon seller. I had products that I would manufacture in Vietnam for home decor, and then I would sell them on Amazon. And I did Kindle book publishing. I did Etsy. I had a online boutique. I had all these different businesses, and they never really worked because I think that a lot of my mind was trying to do those things, because most of them, because I would see like ads or whatnot of people, of the gurus, like the business gurus. I did drop shipping too, saying like, this is what you have to do in order to make a bunch of money and like be free from the system. And like, you know, I made $5 billion today. And I was just like, yeah, like, then my mind would tell me, okay, you're going to make a bunch of money doing this $5 billion a day business idea. You're going to leave your job, and then you're going to have time to do the thing that's on your heart, make YouTube videos, right? And so I tried, but I would always burn out. Like I would always run out of energy to do it. I would reach a few sales, and then I would be so tired from doing everything up until that point of the sale. All the communication with the manufacturer, the designs, the blah blah blah, ordering, storing it in the warehouse, sending it to the warehouses, like all the stuff, and marketing, and then finally the sale would happen, and I would just be like, I'm done. But you can't quit there. You have to keep going. You have to continue the marketing, continue the message, continue pouring into it, continue improving. And I think that that's only possible, like really long term, for those of us that are built this way and designed this way, if it is a calling from your heart. When it is a calling from your heart, it feels like what else could you be doing? Like there's nothing else that could be more important with your time. You actually enjoy doing it. Of course, burnout is still possible, but I genuinely enjoy sitting down and making these videos. I genuinely enjoy seeing people sign up for my courses. It makes my world, like when I receive feedback saying this is changing my life. Like, thank you so much for putting this out there. Like, this is literally making a huge impact. Like, how freaking cool is that to be of service to others in that way? And for me to be supported by the universe, by God, in that way. Like this beautiful flow of abundance across all boards and a very soul-aligned thing. And so when you get super clear, and not super clear, you don't have to be like 100% clear. Like don't let the mind do that. But as you continue, you know, being in your sovereignty, clearing out the noise, clearing out the things that are taking up space, that are distracting you and not supporting you in what you know you need to be doing, you start then to see very clearly what it is that is meant for you. The more that you take action steps of doing that, you know, like, and believing in that, that period of starting my YouTube channel, which I think just 2 days ago was my 2-year anniversary of like creating the channel, and then on New Year's Eve is when I really started posting consistently. So from New Year's Eve to like April is when it all took off really for me. And like that was such a quick amount of time compared to anything else that I ever did, because I went all in, I was consistent, I held the vision even when other people were like, how is that possible for you? Like, you know, just based off of their own normal conditioning. I didn't care. I saw so clearly. I stayed in my lane. I removed the noise. I showed up, and it has been working for me and been a beautiful journey for me. And so that is the path, I think, to never working again, because it doesn't feel, it really, I know we hear it all the time, but it doesn't feel like work. Of course, I don't love like the admin stuff and like the little like details and like, you know, setting things up. Like I'm not super into that part of it. And like the more the admin stuff is not really my superpower. But I mean, soon I feel that I'll probably hire someone. I know I was talking about it before, but just like a virtual assistant to do that kind of stuff. And then like how beautiful is that to get to just do what you love doing, what you like, what you came to earth to do, while delegating everything else. Delegating. and, and so that is not working and making money. That is like when you're in your sovereignty and you are fulfilling your life's purpose, your life's mission, you know, just following the joy, following the curiosity, teaching what you have learned, like the Law of One talks about, being of service to others by teaching what you have learned, you then are in this beautiful flow of abundance and of truth and of sovereignty and of fulfillment. And I think that is like the new earth energy. That is like the ultimate life to experience here on earth, is to be in alignment with that. And of course, it will take consistency, it will take energy, it'll take a part of you that takes, you know, forcing yourself to move through those subconscious blocks. They keep coming up more and more and more. Like when I received that comment, that beautiful, wonderful comment that had said, like, I think this is your life's reason for coming to earth, I actually shed some tears, because my subconscious, like that triggered some things in my subconscious of like, run, hide, don't face it, because the subconscious does not want you to change. It does not want you to be successful. It does not want you to be fulfilled. It does not want you to be big. It wants you to stay in the familiar and to stay exactly where it can keep you safe, where it's normally, like where it's familiar with. And so I had to sit with that, and I had to do EFT tapping on that, and I had to really work through that wave of emotion that came up that literally felt like, go run away and hide, and don't don't continue doing this, don't continue building this, don't. And so that's the journey, is deconditioning the mind, deconditioning, clearing, moving through the noise, getting away from the noise, taking action, holding the vision, continuing to listen to what's on your heart, only doing what's on your heart, and asking your heart for guidance, asking the universe, God, your angels and guides for guidance, trusting that, staying in the vision, not letting other people knock you off, getting really educated on what it is that you need to be educated on to be in your sovereignty, to be living a free life, to not be controlled and manipulated by not the collective, because I think like the collective is beautiful, but by the pendulums here on earth, by the service to self entities here influencing earth. It's a beautiful time on earth. It is such a wonderful time with abundance is infinite. You can have as much as abundance as you truly desire, because you are infinite abundance. It's all available to you. There are infinite possibilities, infinite timelines within the quantum field. Of course, there is a timeline where you get to make money in your sleep. You get to wake up and you have a bunch of money already there. You get to do what you love and abundance flows into your life. Simple. It's already happening. It's just a matter of getting there by doing this exact process. I went deep into that message. Duchess, come here. Come here. Oh, she's doing a little bit better. I've been doing some kitty physiotherapy with her and like tapping on her and whatnot. You're really shedding. So I'm so proud of my doggies. They were so nice and quiet during this. I'm going to take them on a walk now and get the day started. I love you so much. And thank you guys for being here. If you want to sign up for Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis, it is linked in the description. Any of my other programs, my 21-day programs, 12-week program, they're all linked below. So I will see you guys in the next message. Bye. If you want to leave a comment and you don't know what comment to leave, let's go ahead and put a wolf today. All right, I love you.